A new dance teacher was trying to keep control of a packed studio when he noticed one student hiding in the very back, hood up, head down, barely moving. The class laughed when the teacher called him out, because the back row kid looked like he didn't belong there at all. The instructor challenged him to come forward and demonstrate the combination, expecting a quick apology and a quiet exit. What happened next made the entire room go silent, because the visitor wasn't a nervous student. It was Michael Jackson. It was a summer afternoon in the late 1980s in Los Angeles, inside a dance studio that smelled like resin, sweat, and floor cleaner. The walls were lined with mirrors, the fans in the corners hummed like tired insects, and the wooden floor had that scuffed shine that only comes from thousands of hours of practice. The class was full, too full. People were stacked in rows, shoulder to shoulder, all trying to see their own reflection in the teacher's feet at the same time. Most of them were serious dancers, lean bodies, focused eyes, water bottles at their feet like they were part of the uniform. The instructor, Derek Hale, was new to the studio. Mid-20s, talented, ambitious, the kind of teacher who believed discipline was love. He wasn't harsh, but he ran a tight room, because he had learned early that dance studios can turn into chaos the second you let them. He clapped once, loud. "All right," Derek said, from the top. "Again, 5, 6, 7. The music hit, a sharp pop beat. The room moved like one organism. It wasn't bad. It was actually good. But Derek could feel something he hated, complacency. People were getting through the choreography instead of performing it. Arms half finished, steps safe instead of sharp. Derek stopped the music with a slap of the tape deck button. "No," he said. "That was fine. I don't teach fine." A few dancers groaned playfully. Someone laughed. Derek pointed at the front row. "I want to tack," he said. "You're dancing like you're afraid to take up space." He paced in front of the mirrors, eyes scanning, correcting posture, snapping fingers to mark counts. Then he noticed the back row. There, near the far corner by the speakers, was a student he hadn't seen before. Hood up, cap low, dark sweatshirt. Standing slightly turned away from the mirror like he didn't want to be recognized. He moved, but barely. Like he was trying to memorize without leaving fingerprints. It annoyed Derek immediately, not because the kid was bad, but because the kid was hiding. Derek hated hiding in class. It infected the room. It told everyone they could disappear when it got hard. He raised his voice just enough. "You in the back," Derek said. "Yeah, you." The room turned. The hooded guy didn't move. Derek pointed again. "Back corner," he said. "Stop pretending you didn't hear me." A few students snickered. Someone whispered, "He's going to get cooked." The hooded guy finally lifted his head slightly. Derek couldn't see his face clearly. Just a hint of cheekbone, a glimpse of eyes, and the shadow of the cap brim. "You've been standing back there the whole time," Derek said. "Either you're here to learn or you're here to waste space. Which is it?" The room got that nervous kind of quiet. People love confrontation when it's not aimed at them. The hooded guy didn't answer right away. Derek crossed his arms. "What's your name?" A pause. "Mike," the guy said, voice low. A couple students laughed again, because Mike sounded like the most basic answer possible, like a fake name. Derek raised an eyebrow. "Mike," he repeated. "All right, Mike, come up here." The hooded guy didn't move. Derek felt his temper rise, not rage, but that teacher frustration that comes when someone tries to hide behind silence. "Come on," Derek said. "Let's see it. Demonstrate the combination. If you're going to stand back there, you might as well show us what you've got." Now the class was fully watching. Some looked amused, some looked uncomfortable, a few looked excited, because a public challenge is entertainment. The hooded guy hesitated, then started walking forward, slow, controlled. He moved like someone who knew how to move even when he wasn't dancing. That alone made a few dancers sit up straighter. He stopped at the front, still keeping the hood up, cap low. Derek gestured to the mirror space. "Right here," he said, "from the top. Same tempo, same counts." The hooded guy nodded once. Derek hit play. The beat started. And in the first 2 counts, everything changed. Because Mike didn't dance like a student. He danced like a solution. His feet hit the accents perfectly, but not in a stiff way, like the music was pulling him forward. His shoulders rolled with that impossible smoothness that looks like it shouldn't be legal. His timing wasn't just correct, it was musical. He took the same choreography everyone else had just done and made it look like a story. One turn, one pause, one snap. Then, a tiny adjustment. A half step back on the beat that made the whole phrase look cleaner, sharper, more alive. The room stopped breathing. Derek's mouth opened slightly and then closed again, because now he recognized the quality. Not the face, the quality. There are levels to dance, and every serious dancer knows it the moment they see it. This wasn't training. This was instinct refined into art. The hooded guy finished the combo, but he didn't finish with a ta-da. He finished like he was trying not to be noticed. He started stepping back immediately, as if he'd proven the point and wanted to disappear again. But Derek held up a hand. "Wait," he said, voice different now, less sharp, more stunned. The hooded guy stopped. Derek swallowed. "Where did you train?" he asked. The hooded guy hesitated. "Everywhere," he said softly. That answer didn't make sense, and yet it did. Derek took a step closer, eyes narrowing in disbelief. The hood slipped slightly as the guy moved. A couple students in the front row gasped. One girl covered her mouth. Someone whispered, "No." The hooded guy lowered his head again, like he already knew what was happening. Derek's voice came out almost cracked. "Are you?" he began. The hooded guy lifted his face just enough, and the room recognized him all at once. Michael Jackson. The entire class exploded. Half shock, half joy, half disbelief. People backed up into mirrors. Someone squealed. Someone laughed like they'd lost their mind. Derek froze. He had just challenged Michael Jackson in his own language. He had just tried to teach the most famous dancer on the planet. Michael raised both hands gently, palms out. "Please," he said, quiet but clear, Don't make a big..." Too late. The room was chaos. Derek stepped back, mortified. "I'm so sorry," Derek blurted. I thought..." Michael shook his head quickly. "No," he said. "It's okay. It's okay." Derek's face burned. "I called you out in front of everyone." Michael gave a small, almost shy smile. "You did your job," he said. "You were protecting your class." Derek stared at him, stunned by the kindness. Michael glanced around at the students, who were still buzzing like electricity. "I came to watch," he said, "to learn, to feel the room." Derek blinked. "Why?" Michael's smile faded into something more honest. "Because sometimes," he said, "when you're always being watched, you forget what it feels like to watch." That sentence quieted a few people instantly. The room began to settle, not fully, but enough to listen. Derek swallowed hard. Do you want to teach?" he asked, half joking, half terrified. Michael shook his head. "No," he said. "You teach." Then he looked at Derek and said something that hit harder than the surprise reveal. "But can I show one thing?" Derek nodded so fast it was almost funny. Michael stepped back to the center of the floor. He didn't do a full routine. He didn't turn it into a performance. He took the exact combo Derek had taught, nothing more, and changed one detail. He demonstrated how to sit in the beat for half a second longer, how to let the shoulders lead the turn, how to make the movement look effortless without making it lazy. He did it slowly, then again at tempo. Then he stepped aside and gestured to the class. "Now you," he said softly. The class tried it, and suddenly the room looked better. Not because they were copying Michael, because they understood the music differently now. Derek watched, stunned, as his students improved in real time. Michael turned to Derek. "You have a good class," he said. "They work." Derek's throat tightened. "Thank you," he managed. Michael nodded toward the back corner again. "And you were right to call me out," he added. "Back row is where fear hides." The room laughed softly, but it wasn't mocking now. It was relieved. Derek shook his head in disbelief. "Why did you say your name was Mike?" Michael smiled. "Because I wanted 1 hour where I wasn't Michael Jackson. he said. Just Mike. Just a person trying to get better. A few students teared up at that, not because it was tragic, but because it was human. Before leaving, Michael did one last thing that nobody expected. He walked up to the mirror wall where the class roster was written in dry erase marker and picked up the pen. He wrote 4 words at the bottom of the list. Stay hungry, stay kind. Then he capped the marker, set it down, and pulled his hood back up. He nodded once to Derek. Good class, he said, and he walked out the way he'd come in, quiet, almost invisible again. For days after, the students would replay that moment in their minds, the first 2 counts, the shift in the air, the realization. But Derek would remember something else even more. He'd challenged the student in back to demonstrate, and the student had done it without ego. And when the teacher realized who he'd been talking to, Michael didn't embarrass him. He lifted him. Because real greatness doesn't need to prove it belongs in the front. It just dances there. If this story stayed with you, please like and subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that the most legendary people are often the most humble in private. Have you ever had a moment where someone's talent shocked you up close? Tell us in the comments and hit the notification bell for more untold documentary-style stories from the world of music.